Hey y'all, how'd it go? Beautiful soul, extremely blessed to have her. It's funny to listen to especially the young like Amazon drivers. This chick was like, you know, blah 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 blah. She says, everything I wear is Amazon. I drive a van, blah blah blah. But she's making like a little over $22 an hour. And I've been doing my trade for 30 years, right? And I've been offered, and with the contractor's license, right? And I went to school, trade school, and in 94, 95, and I've been offered $24 an hour. Okay, I mean, all you're doing is driving a van and dropping off packages. That's like the postal service. You know what I mean? Every time you go in there, you wait forever. I mean, thankfully you got a job. I mean, that's paying more than flipping burgers. You get to drive around. I've seen a bunch of Amazon. Every like Amazon, UPS always go, "What's in the box? What's in the box?" From 7, right? And some of them get them, some of them don't. You know, but I don't know. Do you think it's like? I mean, do you think you're like super special because you're delivering packages and shit? I mean, at least you get to drive around. I mean, can you imagine working in the fucking building and just sorting shit? That would suck. I just saw another video about this post office worker that said, "Oh, I gotta break down this pallet and I gotta look at all these things and I gotta do your job." I mean, if you don't want to do your job, then basically you become a government worker or a state or a city. Do that, or a law harassment officer. Officer was a stretch, but it just. I worked for a company for like 18 years. I maxed out at like a little over $27 an hour. Okay, doing HVAC, electrical, plumbing, all that crap. Trades should get paid the most. I still don't know why electricians get paid the most. Like, I am the electrician, I'm here. HVAC, refrigeration, we do electrical and plumbing. Okay, we do all that shit, but they want to pay you the least. That's why I got my contractor's license, just to be offered even less. And I'm like, it's just not a shocker that it just so much entitlement or enabled and shit. I think when I started mowing lawns back when I was a child, was that yesterday? And I got paid like hardly anything, if at all. And I think I remember making like $3.25 an hour. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I just like was like, it's with the Jack in the Box, it's like, you want $24 and that $24 an hour to do refrigeration. Why the fuck would I do that? That's stupid. I'd work the window. It'd be the slowest window ever. But at least I'd have something good to say, I guess, But everybody's so miserable, doing work. I was happy when I was doing work. That's when I went off of disability, go back to work for that shitty company, just to fucking try to make me go mental. And now I'm back on it, trying to go back to work again. But there's nothing going on because there's so many people that are illegal, that they're paying, that drops the wage. And you think about it, it doesn't matter how many skills you have, it's who you know and what you'll do to keep your job, And some people will do a lot to keep it. Not me, I always quit a job, I got another one. My ex didn't like it, but I always had another one. I was always working, and then this came in, and then I go back off it to work just to try to be screwed over by the company I was working for, and back on it, trying to get back off it again. But it's just California shit show. California has a pretty bad economy, and you can't blame Trump for it, because look at who was in there before. Look at the governor. Okay, if you don't like what you're doing, go do something else. Good luck trying to find something else to do, because there's not much going on, honestly. Places go out of business, boom, you don't have a job. The Starbucks in front of me right here, it's not on the list to go out. But the more pushback you give those companies, the more they say, fuck it, we're going to close this location. And then what do? Get unemployment? That doesn't pay the bills, you know? But what I would say is companies ask me, like, where do I see myself in 10 years? And I go, not with you. I mean, the only reason I stayed at companies long because I was trying to take care of someone else and their kids that didn't give a shit about me. And so now it's like, I'm trying to go back and do stuff, but you got to know, like, Billy Bob and his kin to get any kind of work around here because they hire illegals, you know? And then I've been called a racist and a Nazi for pointing that out. And I get a lot of discrimination because of this right here, because I'm a man. Okay. Yeah. And I'm Caucasian, yo.